Welcome back, and today we're gonna be talking about ID Invaded episode 12. So like always, let's just jump into it. So this is episode 12 of ID Invaded, and we only got one more episode to go. Now, as far as where the anime is going, I've been loving it, but I'm not too sure if it's gonna get like a second season, just because from what it looks like right now, like episode 12, we're in the final showdown with John Walker. Like that, this is it. By episode 13, I predict that one side is gonna win, and of course, it's probably gonna be Sakaido and the good guys, right? The good guys are gonna win. Now, unless John Walker gets away, and that's where, a second season could come off of. I don't see this getting a second season because who's going to be like the big bad guy, right? Like, are they just going to create another one? And it could be. Now, don't get me wrong. I really do hope that this gets a second season just because it's an anime original. I believe it might be a little bit harder for it to happen. And on top of that, it looks like the story is gonna have a nice ending to it. Like we're gonna get a nice ending, and that's gonna be it. The story of ID Invaded from start to finish, and nothing more. Maybe the studio would work on another original anime. Now, if it gets a second season, I'll be in there day one. I've been loving this anime since day one, and I'm on board for whatever seasons come, okay? And I do hope they make a season 2. I just don't think it's gonna happen because as from what we see in episode 12, episode 13, the last episode, that's gonna be it. I think we're gonna get a nice ending to this story, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Now, regarding the episode, it left off with Asukai pretty much being released by the chief, and she comes out and she's sending everybody to like ID wells. Like she's projecting the thoughts that gives everybody coma, like just face everybody, but she's doing it to the whole building, okay? Now, we don't know why she's in this mode. I don't know if it's like, her mind can't take anymore and she's like projecting everything. And maybe, the chief, John Walker, he found a way to make that into a weapon, because we know his goal is to make like the whole building, like the whole place that they're working in right now, make it into one of those ID well machines so they can work more efficiently and pretty much solve more crimes on a larger scale. Now, the problem with this is the way he went about it, because he did it by when he created the whole place, the whole place where everybody's working at, but creating murderers and stuff like that. That was the wrong way to do it, okay? Like, come on. Like, he said technically he didn't commit any murder. He's not a killer or anything like that. But, my dude, like, you are responsible for creating all those murders. Like, you gotta have some link to that, you know what I mean? Like, he's gotta take responsibility for that. Now, sadly, I don't think he's gonna take any responsibility because the dude is dead, okay? He had it all planned out. He knew he had to die. He did all this knowing that he had to die, because he went into where Sakaido, where all the machines are, where Sakaido, Fukada, and Handamoshi, where they were all in at. They just got out from last episode, telling the whole team that the chief is John Walker, and he goes in there guns blazing. Now, he only shoots Sakaido, and I'm wondering why exactly did he do that. Like, was Sakaido the only one that would have like jumped on him and tried to like hurt him or try to stop him? Because we see Handamoshi and Fukada didn't get shot. They kind of just, put their hands up like, yo, don't shoot me. But then he shoots himself. That was a big surprising part. I thought he was just going to get in the machine and try to do something sneaky to get away. Like maybe transfer his consciousness somewhere else. But no. His plan was to kill himself right before he goes into the machine. So his, consciousness will go into his own ID well. And there's even a bigger purpose for that too, because since he's been in Asukai's mind for so long, I'm guessing he's been doing this for years and years and years. Her consciousness and his are kind of linked together, so he has all these masks in his ID well, which it looks kind of weird. But if he puts a mask on, he gets teleported into that person's ID well. Now, and there seems to be like an unlimited amount, like a godly amount of mask, okay? So I'm guessing the reason why he wanted to do this, he could technically live forever. And now we know that he's kind of crazy because he likes to go in there and, make people commit murder. And he actually killed somebody in this episode inside the ID well. And now we don't know exactly if you die in there, what happens. Like, we know from when the last time this incident happened with Asuka, where she sent all those nurses into like a big coma. I think it was what, 4 of them didn't wake up out of 13. So like about 70% of them did wake up. But I'm wondering if those 4 that are still in a coma right now actually died inside the ID well, and that's why they can't come back. Or maybe then, Sakaido also mentioned that the people that died in here, if they want to come back, like if they want to come back to life, they should be able to. I don't know if that's, kind of like what's happening with the nurses, like maybe they didn't have the will to live or something, and they didn't decide to come back, so they're still in a coma. Maybe that's the case. Because we see that Fukada came in strong, okay? Now, he was the villain from start of the anime, and now he kind of seems like a hero because he saved Honda Moshi. Not once, but twice, okay? When John Walker told Honda Moshi who she really was right inside the well, remember, whenever you learn who you really are, that creates like a storm well, and pretty much everything goes to hell, and it's chaos. But John Walker used that to his advantage to escape again, and Fukada came in and was able to catch Honda Moshi before she fell to her death, I'm guessing. But then we see Inami, okay? She's the gravedigger killer that was in league with Kazuta, and she really wanted to kill somebody that Honda Moshi cared for, because she could have killed Honda Moshi, but she ended up killing Fukada because he took the bullet for her. And Inami seemed pretty happy with that because she didn't try to kill Honda Moshi after that. She kind of went looking for Kazuta. That was her thing. She was in the ID well looking for Kazuta, her long love, her love of her life, or whatever you want to call him. And she finds him. And he's all cut up in pieces and, dangling in that world where everything is full of like strong wind. And she gets stabbed in the back by John Walker. Now, I did make a little, like I noticed something, right? John Walker in that ID well had the fuzzy face. Like, but in his original ID well and the ones that he went to the other ones that he went after, like when Sakaido and Honda Moshi were chasing him, his face was not all fuzzy like we seen him in the past episodes. It was just his regular face. So I'm wondering if there's multiple John Walkers in those ID wells. Like, since all the ID wells are connected, just because they're connected doesn't mean that John Walker, is gonna be everywhere at the same time. I wonder if there's different copies of John Walker in those ID wells that he was involved with, creating all those serial killers. I wonder if he's in those ID wells, like another version of him, and how is that gonna impact like the whole situation that's happening right now. I mean, this episode was definitely great. Was definitely a build-up episode, right? I mean, we got to see Sakaido go to his ID well to try to remember who he really is. That way, he knows everything that he needs to do to stop John Walker. And he sees his family, and that's, I'm guessing, what helps him remember. That part to me was wonderful, just because, what he did for his family, even though it was wrong, I mean, can you really blame him? The Challenger killed his daughter, like beat her to death, and on top of that caused his wife to commit suicide. Like, can we really fault, him for going out and killing the Challenger the way he did? I wouldn't. I would say that was justice, okay? But, we live in a world where there's laws and he can't do that, so that's why he was arrested. But I'm wondering if either A, he's gonna make it out alive because he got shot. He only got shot once in the stomach, but I don't know how long he's going to be inside that ID well. I don't know how long it's going to be for him to, solve this big mystery of John Walker and stop him, because John Walker is dead, so he's not coming back. I think they're just trying to stop him from living forever inside the ID well. They're trying to stop his plan of like his happy ending. He was planning this all along, so I guess they're trying to stop his heaven or whatever. They're trying to actually make sure he's dead forever inside the ID well and outside in the real world. But I don't know how Sakaido is gonna live through this, right? Because he did get shot, and I don't know if solving all these crimes is actually gonna benefit him. I wonder if he's still gonna go back to jail. Maybe they're gonna pardon him. I don't know. But last thing, Momoki, right? He is back. Momoki, he's back. He got released because we know everything now. We know who the real John Walker is. So he got released, and he's the only one that knows how to stop Asuka, okay? And it involves, from what we see, because we only got a little snippet, right? He's got experience from when this happened a long time ago. So he knows that they need the prototype of the machines that they use, and he asked for drugs. So he's got a plan, and he's a great man. So I know he's gonna solve this on the real world end, and Sakaido is gonna solve everything in the ideal end. Can't wait for the next episode. Kind of bummed out that you know it's the last episode of the season for this anime. But April, we're gonna get a brand new animes that are gonna be great, and I can't wait for it. But like always, let me know what you thought of this episode. Go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode.